this morning, we are posing the question, is enough enough? Have we had enough of commissions and committees and all sorts of inquiries? And is it time for the law to step in, legal action? We've got with us here Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa from the JVP. Very good morning to you, Dr. Nalinda.
Good morning, Faraz.
And is that right? Is it time now to stop the talk and to walk the talk through the legal system?
Why not? I'm thinking why we have to always talk about the corruptions, deals in every time. We don't have time to discuss about the development, new technical innovations and the expansion of the democracy.
And the opportunities for people.
Yes, we are wasting time over not only the previous government, 2010-15 government even, we are still talking about the corruption and wastage.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a legal system to inquire and give punishment to these wrongdoers. But still the government or the rulers are talking about the corruptions and they are appointing committees, presidential committees and special subcommittees, cabinet committees to inquire, and there are a lot of reports.
Yeah.
We spent public funds for investigations and to make that reports.
No, this COPE.
But still we are talking.
No, you're part of COPE. But COPE is a fact-finding mission.
Yes, why not? COPE has no, the legal arm.
Yeah. So what happens? Is there any use?
Yes, I think it has a use. COPE and the COPA, the parliamentary committees, they have responsibility to start inquiries.
Yeah.
But when we make the report, the government has a responsibility to go forward with that report based on that.
Right. Otherwise, what do you do? Now, if you studied, like you all did the bond thing, and you sent it away for, they sent it away to a presidential commission, there's no real,
yes.
Where is the legal?
You see, the parliamentary committees as COPE and COPA, they are well recognized, international recognized committees.
Yeah.
They consist on not only the government MPs.
But what about, Dr. Nalinda, what about delivery? I'm not trying to belittle what COPE and COPA do. Very important. But it appears that you're not getting the necessary support from the other agencies.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's why from the beginning of this COPE committee, we try to get some consultations, special outside consultants to help the COPE, especially from the legal draftment, legal department, aegis department, and the police. Then we can direct them to extend the inquiries.
Direct them in the sense, show them the road.
No, otherwise
not to order them. Let's
see, by the standing orders and by the parliamentary privileges, we don't have such kind of facility to order them. But as initiative, we can get the support of them, and because otherwise what happened when we publish the report, then we have to give it to the Prime Minister or the President. Then, according to his wish, he may order to the relevant authorities. So that's why we are going to bypass that route. And if we can have a chance to direct or at least we can discuss with them openly with all the MPs of the COPE and COPA, then I think the long route we can cut at a certain point.
Right. The headline story in the island today is that about Airbus kickbacks. Sri Lanka paid 98 million as compensation to leasing company. Actually, that's not all. the Sri Lankan government have paid much more than that.
That happens.
Well, Sri Lankan Airlines has paid much more.
That happens at the second step.
Yeah,
Not in the purchasing time.
that's right.
When we cancelling the leasing agreement,
Yeah.
we have to pay another $98 million.
Right. So we paid $19.2 million. We paid $7.5 million, and we paid $98 million as the compensation when cancelling, and $2 million was paid as a bribe.
Yeah.
So do you think the $2 million came from all this other money that we're paying? 7.5, 19.2 and 98. Do you think the $2 million came from there?
Most important thing is from where we are giving or bribing money to the other party. It's from the treasury of Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Treasury means that is taxpayers' money. So they are tax. Every government should expend for their children's education and for their health and for the roads, water supply and as infrastructure.
And the EPF made a 500 million rupee investment in Sri Lankan Airlines.
So every time all the authorities,
Yeah.
power, they misuse the public funds. That's the pathetic situation. Otherwise, they are giving money from somewhere or from their wealth or others' wealth, it's okay. But this public fund, taxpayers' money. So who are buying 500 grams of sugar or the 1 liter of petrol, 250 milliliter of kerosene,
Yeah.
so all paying tax to the treasury, then these people are misusing and corrupting this tax. That's a
There's an interesting clip from after Sri Lankan Airlines at the Paris Air Show sort of confirmed or indicated to Airbus that they will order up to 16 aircraft. There's an interesting clip. I wonder if we can play that clip because let's play that clip and I'll ask a question thereafter. Let's listen to the clip.
We currently operate an exclusive Airbus fleet of 340s, 330s and 321s and 320s. We have the commonality in operating crews, especially tech crews. They have commonality on the type licenses, which is advantage for us. Even the cabin crews, basically certification is pretty much easier and it moves from one type to the next. So certainly that gives us...
Well, you heard that. That was Kapila Chandrasena, the CEO at the time of Sri Lankan Airlines. And he says somewhat quite proudly that Sri Lankan Airlines is proud to be to operate an all Airbus fleet. My question is, do you think that this had anything to do with the $2 million and the contract for $16.4 million that he signed with them, or he agreed with them in some shape or form? There is no doubt about this 16.4 million, the 2 million. It has been tried and tested and confirmed in a British court of law.
I wonder whether this man is CEO of Sri Lanka Airlines or the marketing agent of Airbus.
Well,
the way he is expressing and the confidence he had shows that he is continuously serving for the Airbus company.
Yeah.
But that replacing the whole fleet of Sri Lankan Airlines,
Yeah.
do you think that a CEO, one person, that is, he is below the chairman,
Yeah.
without consent of the chairman and board of directors, as well without the consent of the cabinet minister and the cabinet, he couldn't take the decision to replace the whole fleet. Otherwise, not the whole fleet, But purchasing one airplane means it's a huge cost.
Yeah.
And he couldn't take that decision.
Yeah.
So definitely the chairman and the board of directors, as well the cabinet minister
Yeah.
of relevant the Sri Lanka, the
Yes.
responsible Sri Lanka airline,
Yeah.
he should be there.
Yes, but there's one small problem. In the post-Rajapaksa, post-Mahinda government, in the Palani government, the minister in charge of the airline was the Minister of Public Enterprise.
Yeah.
That was Kabir Hashim. He didn't even know that the board were paying this money. And only after his secretary wrote several times did they start sending information piecemeal, little bit by little bit. Do you think that it is Airbus who should pay the finance company, AirCap, because the people of Sri Lanka, through Sri Lankan Airlines, and having taken the money from the treasury, paid $98 million to AirCap for the cancellation?
That issue came to the COP at that time. The time I was there as a COP member. In addition to the public enterprise minister, then finance minister intervened a lot to that deal. I think my memory is clear that one of the consultants, the private consultant of finance minister, he knowed this issue, and within 2-3 days they were going to settle that by paying such a $98 million to that company.
But previously we'd paid, as our card showed, we'd paid 7.5 million and 19.2 million on top of all that. On top of that, they wanted 98 million. And there's probably more than that. This is just stuff that's only coming out now.
Yes, at the beginning, they have started with a big shout that they appointed a valium committee.
Yeah.
It spent nearly 4 million rupees Sri Lanka. But they didn't use that valium report anywhere.
They said that it was rubbish.
Yeah.
And I think it went into the dustbin. But today, some aspects of that report has been upheld in a completely separate matter in a British court.
I think that by the valium report and with other reports, the wrongdoers were exposed. That's why the Yahapalana authority tried to hide them, because they are very close friends, they know everything. So they are continuing that deals. So that's why they purposely hide the facts of that report.
Do you think it's fair that Kapila Chandrasena is today in remand?
Yes, I mean, he's a part of that deal, and his wife, anyway, her account was used.
Yeah, whether she knew
but
it.
Now, I read that they are telling they don't know.
This is a classic.
Yes.
This is a classic.
Yes, because they built big houses, they don't know
where the money came
from. And they received some basket of gems.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
Yeah, somebody came and left it.
Yes, that's right. They're the same scenario, same story.
It's the same DNA.
I think, same DNA and
because you're a doctor, I'm trying to say it in your language.
Same gene as well, the same legal consultants who advised them.
So it's wonderful news. But I want to know from the public, how many of you people who have been called upon by the Inland Revenue to say that, no, your tax is too low, this is the figure. How many of you can actually say, well, look, I don't know where the balanced profit came because somebody left me a bag of gems and I sold it. How many of you can do that? Well, I'd like to know by SMS 0772 300 305. Send us your questions. This is, after all, your program. Send us your questions.
receiving that gems or money or that the wealth, it should be that there's one link. They should have born surrounding Madamulan area.
Oh, really?
So otherwise, yeah. When you see all persons they told that kind of story, they have the same blood pattern and the gene. You said correct. Same story.
The thing is this.
Because Kapil Chandrasen is, he has a relation to that family.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not,
You said
not
it,
close,
not me.
Not close, but he's a...
What, you mean like Mr. Cabral and Ranil?
Yes.
Long?
Not long. Cabral, Ranil, Arjun Mahendran.
Yeah.
You see the
so like
family
that, you mean
tree?
Kapil Chandrasen has got some relationship?
Yes, I got to know that.
The chairman at the time, the wonderful planter, Nishanta, Vikram Singh, obviously brother-in-law of the then president, he said at one time that he was concerned about Mr. Chandrasen, that he wasn't suitable for the job. He was concerned. But when he was later, when he was the interview process was, he came, apparently this is what's reported in the press, he comes in for a meeting with a few members of the board, not all, and they just inform him that he's the CEO. And then he goes out. That's it.
So if he is not suitable for such a big responsibility, so why that the previous government appointed him as the acting CEO of once Mobitel and Telecom? He is getting...
That's where his expertise is, in telecom.
Anyway...
And in IT.
I mean, one man handling such two big companies
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah.
you can see it's very, I mean, he should have very big capacity to run those huge companies. Anyway,
Do you think-
and the other thing,
Yeah.
he was the CEO of Sri Lanka Airline in 2013-14 period.
Yeah.
In 2018 October, within 52-day government,
Oh, yeah.
he was the chairman of Sri Lankan Airline.
Again.
Yes.
Well, he was brought in.
If it is not suitable to CEO post, why they appoint him as the chairman,
But
the high
that
post?
was the opinion of Mr. Vikram Singh, Nishant Vikram Singh. And there's one more thing. He also says that Mr. Vikram Singh says, this is Nishant Vikram Singh, he says that it's reported in the Times, it's here, in the Sunday Times, page 8. It says there that he says, or he said at the time, that he felt that his appointment was part of a bigger scheme. So, do you think that Mr. Vikram Singh knew that there was a bigger scheme going on? And what could be bigger than running the airline?
Maybe, I don't know much details about that. Anyway, what I can see, especially for the Sri Lanka Airlines,
Yeah.
every government tried to appoint their relatives. You see, the CEO of Yahapalana government, who is the CEO of Yahapalana government in Sri Lanka Airline, is the brother of economic consultant to the Prime Minister. Then, recently,
This is Charity Ratwat's
yes,
brother.
Charitata's brother.
Right.
And recently, for the Airport and Civil Aviation Private Limited,
Yeah.
the new government appointed 2 directors from Rajapaksha family. One is mother-in-law of the elder son and father-in-law of the younger son. So why they always try to appoint their close relatives to the Sri Lanka Airline and the Civil Aviation Company Limited? Because they don't try to appoint such kind of person to the Environment Authority?
Or the timber board?
Timber board? Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the reason? Because are they having historical relations to the aviation or airline like from Ravana?
ඒ කියන්නේ මේ දර විකුණන්න දාන්නේ නැහැ. ගුවන් හමුදාවට එහෙමත් දාන්නෙත් නැහැ. But they are putting in this other place.
Yes. There's maybe a big secret behind it.
A big secret. Have you not found out what the big secret is?
We'll see. We can see it.
Okay. Now then, in Parliament, you brought out this other thing.
Yeah.
It's another thing. And your colleague, Mr. Handanetti, was here the other day, and he was very clear. He says, Cabral wants to go to have a police investigation. He says that's all nonsense. We have got enough evidence. We must go to court. We must now let the judicial system take over. Do you agree?
Definitely.
And what about your list?
Now I am taking the example from Cabral.
Yeah.
He said this investigation of the bond scam should go to the CID.
Yeah.
So this is one issue to go to the CID, because now the ministers of Yahapalana government, especially the Salafi ministers, they're trying to say that no, they don't know about that vehicles, they didn't use that vehicles.
Right.
So it's big deal. I mean, 2.8 billion Sri Lankan rupees.
Right.
It is 2,800 million.
Yeah.
I calculated there are 80
2.8 billion rupees.
Yeah, 2.8 billion. 80 vehicles. You see, the purchasing was started in 2016, mid of 2016.
That's in the good governance team.
It's good governance, and the last vehicle purchased in 2019 May.
Right.
So the pathetic situation is, you see, when I refer that two vehicles purchased just after the Easter bomb attack, just 2 weeks later after.
Yeah.
One for the defense minister, that was purchased in 2019 May 8th, Volvo XC90T8. It costs 18.34 million.
Right.
And the other one for the Deputy Minister of Land and Parliamentary Reforms, it's the same Volvo XC90T8 vehicle, spent 38 million rupees. So
now what happens to the cars that were bought in the previous government?
According to the list of vehicles, I may consider that they didn't use high luxury vehicles so it shows that they used carts like very small vehicles. That's why the Yahapalana ministers had to purchase such type of big vehicles, maybe.
Do you think that President Nandasena Gotabaya Rajapaksa has got the willpower and enough backing to ensure that this Airbus transaction, that we write to Airbus and tell them to pay us our money back, otherwise we will sue them in the British courts or even in the French courts?
We'll see. The step the step President was taken at the beginning. It's we have to appreciate it. Anyway, we have to speed up the legal.
But the days are going by. Do you know whether the government of Sri Lanka or Sri Lankan Airlines or the Treasury, because they are the shareholder, have they initiated? Have they even started discussing with any lawyers in Britain or in France?
Anyway, I don't have any.
You don't have any information about that.
Yeah.
Is there another parliamentary session sometime?
Yeah.
So why don't you ask them?
Last session of this parliament on
There you are, you see.
18th.
There's another last session. That means that will go down the drain. Then we'll have to all just wait till the next parliament comes. So it's like a dance, isn't it?
Yeah. They will dissolve the parliament on March 2nd. So we have only 3 days.
You're pretty sure about that. So when is the elections going to come?
20 to 20, in between 20 to 25th April.
Oh. There you are. You heard it first, I think, on Newsline, live. Parliament will be dissolved but on the 2nd of March and elections around the 20th to 25th of April.
If the deal between UNP and Basil won't be success.
There's a deal?
Yes, they started talks to dissolve early parliament before March 2nd. So they tried to get the election before the new year.
Will your party support that? Because you need a 2/3 majority.
Yes, we want to dissolve the parliament early because this parliament is, we can't doing anything. We can raise some issues, but no one responsible. So
right.
At least we want a new parliament. So if that resolution comes to the parliament, we will support.
In the meantime, in all these cases, they'll get bail and then just be out.
Yes, as in the past, there may be the political drama. They are going to the remand and staying in the prison hospital.
Yeah.
Spending a super luxury life as in the out they spent, and they are coming out in 5 to 6 days. So what happens to the people of the country?
To keep paying more money.
Keep paying for money and keep voting for them. The people are voting such kind of politicians. So the voters can't get rid of their responsibility. They are paying tax as well as they are appointing people to protect their tax.
So not only are the people paying tax, their retirement money is being robbed and being played about with at the EPF. The losses are astounding. And why don't... what do you think? Do you think we need a presidential commission, or do we have a police inquiry as to what happened to the money at the EPF?
Presidential commissions are useless. That habit introduced by Chandrika Kumartunga. Always she appointed presidential commissions. There are a lot of presidential commission reports. Nothing happened. So I propose to use the established procedure in the police as well as the legal system in Sri Lanka. So we have enough laws. The problem is if the government or the politicians will not intervene that, they can continue that investigations.
This is the last question. It's coming from out there.
Yeah.
Why don't you, that's me, ask you to name the 2 ministers behind the order of the 2 cars instead of naming only the ministries?
Yes, that is Defence Minister was at that time President Maithripala Sirisena.
Right.
And the Deputy Minister of Land and Parliamentary Affairs was, let me check, it's Edward Gunasekara.
A deputy minister. Yeah. Right, there you go. Well, I hope we've put it all into perspective for you. All these matters and more obviously requires your keen and close attention because, of course, around the corner, and as Dr. Nandajathisa says, around the 20th or 25th of April, you'll have general elections. You need to be mindful. You need to be thoughtful. Is that right, Doctor? Nalinda. You need to be mindful and
Yes.
thoughtful.
At least this time.
All right, let's close it all. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful and excellent week ahead of you. Take care, and of course, God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.